A large cruise ship carries between 5,000 and 7,000 people when you count passengers and crew together. The average person uses around 50 gallons of water per day, which means a fully loaded ship is generating roughly 300,000 gallons of wastewater every single day. All of that water still needs to go somewhere, and cruise ships handle it exactly the way cities do on land, with full sewage treatment facilities built into the hull. The bottom of a cruise ship is filled with ballast tanks, large chambers of water that add weight to keep the vessel stable in rough seas. Rather than filling those tanks with fresh water, ships use their own wastewater. Ships separate wastewater in the ballast into two categories: grey water and black water. Grey water comes from sinks, showers, laundries, and kitchens. It's soapy, but not sewage. Black water comes from toilets. Black water requires full treatment before it can be discharged. Grey water, by contrast, is stored as ballast and discharged directly into the ocean once the ship is far enough from land. Black water, after acting as ballast for some time, goes through a multi-stage treatment process before it goes anywhere. First, it enters a chamber where large solids are removed through a filter. From there, it moves into a biological treatment chamber, where bacteria break down the harmful organic waste. The sewage is essentially their food source. The partially treated water then flows into a settlement chamber, where it sits undisturbed. The heavier particles sink to the bottom, and the cleaner water rises to the top. The dense material at the bottom is pumped back into the biological chamber for another round, while the cleaner water at the top moves forward. That water then enters a sterilization chamber, treated with either chlorine or ultraviolet light to kill any remaining pathogens. What comes out the other end is water clean enough to meet drinking water standards. It's stored in a final holding tank in the ballast, and when the ship reaches open water far enough from land, it's discharged overboard, legally and cleanly. Grey water cannot go through the same biological treatment system. The soap, shampoo, detergents, and cleaning chemicals in grey water kill the bacteria that the black water treatment process depends on. Running grey water through the system would destroy the very thing that makes the system work. This is why the two streams are kept entirely separate, and why grey water is almost always discharged untreated. Also, it's not even required to go through treatment under most international maritime regulations, as long as discharge happens at sufficient distance from shore. All of that discharged water needs to be replaced somehow. Ships do this by making their own fresh water from the ocean around them. Onboard desalination plants pull seawater in, remove the salt through either reverse osmosis or thermal evaporation, and produce clean drinking water continuously while the ship is at sea. A large cruise ship can desalinate hundreds of thousands of gallons per day, making it almost entirely self-sufficient in fresh water for the duration of a voyage. Click the video on your screen right now, and I'll explain another everyday mystery you've wondered about your whole life, but never thought to look up.